Oh, sheesh. That was, yo, what a yap session, man. Just off of that alone, I'm tired as fuck. Why millennials and Gen Zs? Wait, what? Why millennials and Gen Zs are going no contact with their parents? What are we talking about? Amir Odom. Amir Odom. Amir Odom. Amir Odom or Amir Odom. I'm saying, if I'm butchering it, my bad, my brother. Sorry, bro. But yeah, let's see it.
It has been 6 years since I've spoken to my mother.
We're no contact with our parents because we have to, not because we want to.
Growing phenomenon.
Talk about it.
Known.
What the fuck? Is this AI Oprah? Whoa, she looks so different. Why is that neck sucked? Why is that neck area so sucked in, bruh? How old is Oprah, bruh? Damn, the hairline is all the way out the way, you know what I'm saying? Like the, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you know, she clear senior citizen. How old is Oprah, dog? Man, my fault, y'all. I gotta just check it. You know what I'm saying? For the one time. Co-pilot. How old is Oprah Winfrey, man? In 2025.
Well, it looks like it's indeed the year 2025.
No. How old is Oprah Winfrey?
Oprah Winfrey is currently 71 years old.
Okay. Pay my respects, man. I didn't mean, you know what I'm saying, if I came off disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? With all due respect. You feel me? But yo, I ain't seen Oprah in a minute. Damn.
Going no contact.
People are fed up and boundaries have been put in place, even for me. If you're unfamiliar with what going no contact means, it basically means when you've cut your parents off. And personally, I've always thought I was alone on this issue, but
I thought I was alone on this issue, my man Amir Odom, bro. I thought I was the only, you know what I'm saying? And you're right, it is millennials and Gen Zs, right? My boy, just like dive in, bro. Like, yo, indulge me, man.
people are
Damn.
sharing their own personal experiences.
Cause you know what I'm saying? Like, I need like to hear it from other POVs. I ain't gonna lie. Like, what's up with that?
Online is that there's a large group of people that are going through this very issue. And recently, Oprah actually highlighted this on her show / podcast, whatever she got going on. She's highlighted this.
It's a podcast now? Damn, okay.
And actually hosted a bunch of different people to
She's even slouched over like this. Like, what's up?
share their stories and kind of
No. Okay, yeah, old age. It happens. Shout out Oprah Winfrey.
talk back and forth with the crowd. And there were people who cut off their parents. There were parents who have cut off their children. Parents who have been cut off by their kids. There was so much discussion being had, and honestly, it's perfect timing because the holidays are around. And for a lot of people, even for me, like it can be very
talk about it.
lonely
Yeah,
and
holiday season.
depressing, and it's just nice to resonate and connect with other people out there sharing their stories. Because this issue, it can be hard on a lot of people. Hell, especially, and we'll get into it later on in this video. But even what I'm personally going through right now with my own mom, and it's a lot. This is gonna be an interesting video. We'll see if I make it through. We will see. But I will say, if you are someone that has a very loving and awesome and great relationship with your parents,
kudos,
good.
more
I'm
power
happy
to
for
you.
I'm glad you have that, but that is not the case for everybody out there. And I'm going to let you know now, some of the stories that we'll be going through in this video will shock you, and it'll even make you wonder, like, damn, I didn't even know a parent can act like this or do this. Because truly, for most people, going no contact with your parents, that's the last resort. While yes, we've discussed this, there are some people cutting off their family because of politics. That's rare. What we're talking about in this video is years, decades worth of trauma and abuse and neglect, and it's sad. And in this video, we're gonna be going through exactly that. We're gonna go through several videos of people sharing their own stories about going no contact with their parents, and even my own, and how I basically don't have a relationship with either. So that being said, thank you for your time. If you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe, and let's dive right into this video.
And you know what's crazy too? Like, one thing that I will say is that, and I get the whole POV of people that be like, yo, you are blessed to have both your parents still alive in your life, etc., right? And I get that, right? But then in some instances, that's not a blank. Well, people throw it out there as a blanket statement. I don't think it necessarily should be applied as a blanket statement. And it's like an example of saying, what's a quick analogy I can put together, bro? It's like saying, yo, as long as you're male, right, and you're born male, the only way for you to get into an education system and get you a decent education is if you join a sports, whatever sports, but that's the only chance. And it's like, what do you mean, brother? Not every male boy is born with, you know, an athletic build. You know, these people who are born, you know, disabled, dyslexia. I don't. It's not a laughing matter. Focus. I meant disabled. Paraplegic. You feel me? So it's like, not everybody is built for this. So not everything could apply to this blanket statement. You see what I'm saying? Where it's like, yo, be happy, bro. You're blessed, bro. You still got both of your parents alive. How do you ghost both of them or one of them, whatever the case, for like such a long time? It's like, yo, there are reasons for these kind of things, brother. And for me personally, you know, even with the people that I know personally, bro, these are the kind of questions that I don't even entertain in terms of poking at them. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, you'll find somebody that's like, that comes off petty within the decisions that they make. You know what I'm saying? And you see, but you know, you think about it really deeply. You see, it's a sensitive topic. And you're like, bro, there must be like a plethora of reasons why things got here. Yes, this one isolated incident right here, it seems mad petty, but it's like, yo, I wouldn't even want to question it. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it looks too, you know, too petty to be sweet, it's probably like monstrous. I'm not gonna lie. If it looks too petty to be sweet, probably is bitter as fuck. It's monstrous, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the saying, but boom, that's a bar. Write that down.
You now are estranged from
Shout out my boy Nero.
your biological father.
Yes.
Why? Can we ask?
I say it's a million cuts that bled me dry. And I could give you one reason, but I think that it
million
Right, let's dive right into this video.
You
million
now are
concepts. What?
estranged from your biological father.
Yes.
Why? Can we ask?
I say it's a million cuts that bled me dry. And I could give you one
sheesh.
reason, but
Okay,
I think
cool,
that
I
it
get it.
wouldn't reflect the entirety of the situation. And I think that someone would judge that one situation and say that wasn't enough of a reason. And in reality, it wasn't just that. It was a million things before that.
That is so common. There's a lot of people even that I meet in real life and we have these conversations, and it's hard to conceptualize all the things that have gone on in my own life with my mother. And when you take into account the whole grand scheme of things, it makes sense. If I tell you this one thing here, it's not gonna add up.
Exactly.
You know, it's beautiful the way she put it. A million cuts that bled me dry.
Yeah, so it's a domino effect of little things that lead up to a certain, you know, climactic moment, where even that climactic moment, for it to happen, all it took was like something small to even trigger that moment to happen.
Totally.
Facts.
You can get a bunch of paper cuts, and if they bleed enough, you got enough of them, you will die. But it's
You will
not by
die
paper
eventually,
cut,
yeah.
You know, so it can vary. But that's the other thing too. You don't really know people's story, and there's many reasons people go no contact. But the largest part that we're gonna go through in this video, before a large group of people, it's a very serious matter. There's years and years worth of trauma, of conversations and talks, and it just compiles and compiles and compiles. Where it's just like, you know what? I've had enough.
Yeah.
I have to remove myself from this situation. For people out there, sometimes it isn't just this one moment. It's not this one fight, this one thing. No, it's the whole picture, years worth of stuff going on, all these little cuts, little comments, little jabs here and there, where it's like, you know what, F it. You're draining me of my energy, my time, my emotions, and it hurts.
Crazy.
And it's gotten to the point where a lot of people are saying, you know what, F it, enough is enough. And I will say, Oprah has been getting a lot of flack for, this is Oprah's show, Oprah's been getting a lot of flack for hosting this and calling it a trend. I'll give her a little grace. And
Wait, is Oprah's show about this? Is the premise of the thing like breaking down, you know, estranged relationships with, you know, people and their parents?
say that for me, when I maybe it's because I work, you know, I do YouTube and I do social media full time.
Yep.
I hear trend, and for the most part in this context of like what we're talking about, when I hear that it's a trend, I think it's more of a trend for people to share their stories.
Okay.
That's been on the rise. There has been a trend of people sharing their stories, highlighting what they're going through and connecting with other people. What's not been the trend is people actively doing it. People have been cutting off their parents, and this isn't just like a fad. I think if she said it's a fad, that's a little different. But to say it's a trend, it is trending upward of people sharing their stories. I'll say that, but I definitely don't think it's just a little fad.
Bro, how can it even be a trend, bro? You know what I'm saying? At the same time, we're gonna have to like decipher what we really are talking about, bro. Especially if we claim to be adults that are like that, you know, are understanding our world. It's like, how do you make this a trend? How do you like, oh shit, is this what's being done these days? Oh, let me go ahead and ghost my own family, like knowing damn well that you and your parents like you know, connection is cool, it's decent, right? It's like that would make no sense. This, like, what I see being broken down here is, you know, trauma responses, bro. It's people who literally went through real trauma, dog. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, labeling it as like a trend. Oh, I see there's this trend that, you know, where people are just going no contact with, like, that sounds ridiculous, bro. Right? It's like, then what's the benefit? Like, what do you get from you know, from ghosting parents that are good to you? That, you know, where it's like no traumatic, you know, experiences within the bond. Like,
Hello, happy late Thanksgiving, everyone.
There's like a real reason why people are doing this. I see, and yes, I do. You know, I do see, you know, why they'd say there's a trend, but it's only a trend of people sharing their experiences, okay, sharing their stories of, you know, their realities, you know, that they're actually going no contact with their parents. That's
I really
crazy.
want to make a video talking about the recent Oprah podcast episode that I was a guest on.
Dinosaur in that whip, nigga.
I wanted to give myself a couple days to really gather my thoughts because I fully blacked
Okay, I'm joking. A cool looking dog.
out being there in person. They referred to going no contact as a trend, which upset a lot of people, rightfully so. Going no contact is not like doing the Harlem Shake. It is not you wake up one day and decide, oh, I'm going to cut off my family because my best friend cut off her mom 2 weeks ago. So like I said in the podcast, I knew at an early age I was not going to have a close, loving relationship with my parents. I would sit in my closet crying,
Same here, bro.
asking God, the universe, whoever would listen, why was I born into a family if my parents don't love me? I would say, like, I just need to grow up. I just need to turn 18 years old so I can move out and get
dip, bro. Oh my god. Look, bro. Look, man. You know what I'm saying? I relate. It's even to a point where, you know what I'm saying, like, the moment I was like, oh shit, alright, look, I'm not proud of like sharing this portion of a story time of mine, but yeah, it was, you know, for me, it was to a point where something as ridiculous as, I know I'm about to finish college, bro. I know I'm about to finish this one last leg of this thing, but yo, this whole thing, even like the pressure of academics, dog. Bro, if you were one of those kids coming up who are pressurized by your academics, I'm not even talking about like reprimanded for like getting bad academics or mid academic. I'm talking about threatened, nigga. Threatened for like, nigga, you dare fail this class or you dare fail this, da da da. It's like, and then it's like the threat would be something I wouldn't even want to share on this content, man. We, you know, we trying to keep it cool over here, right? It's like, what? So as a result, bro, when it came to like just academic pressures and things, like, I was like, bro, got this last semester, da da da, right? I'm almost done, but you know what? Fuck it. Because at that point, like, my whole logic was, I already got, I was in my final year doing what I was doing. So, but then in my mind, I was like, yo, we didn't even, you know, I've been dealing with the practical side. That's all I gave a fuck about. You know, I was doing sound engineering. You feel what I'm saying? So the whole, you know, just practicing the thing was my fascination. So I had been doing that even from the first year that I came there, because my fascination was, you know what I'm saying, it was attached to the passion that I had. So I was already practicing it. So the practical, I was like, bro, I'm thinking about it, I'm in the last year, da da da. Yeah, there's the theory part, that's also cool. I've been passing it up to this point. You know what I came here for, I've already got. I'm out. And I wasn't even talking about out of just doing the sound engineering thing, da da da. I'm out of this whole environment, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even wait until maybe I was just done with that one semester, you know, maybe get that little employment or practice enough so I can make enough money for myself, be like, okay, then I'm like, I was just like, what? And I remember, bro, I was going through something specific that also, you know what I'm saying, it bursted, and it made a climactic moment that led into me just like dropping everything and moving. And that was, you know what I'm saying, that you know, was inspired by me just saying, you know, I want to leave these people here, man. Fuck. You feel me? And it happened, right? It happened. So, damn, like, shit, I don't even know the point that they were making here, but listen.
I just didn't have the word no contact to fit into that.
Oh my gosh. This is one of the beauties about social media that I truly love, because you're able to share stories, you're able to connect with other people, and I resonate with that so heavy. Not having a father in my life, he's a bum. By definition, the man's a bum in the streets of Chicago. My mother is just extremely just as toxic, verbally abusive, some points a little
crazy.
It's a much. And there have definitely been times when I was in middle school.
Yep.
I remember these moments vivid and clear as day where I was like, you know what? I don't see myself having a relationship with this woman when I'm grown. If I'm a child now and I don't really have a relationship with you, the way you're treating me is not okay. The way we're talking is not okay. How I'm feeling is not okay. At that age, middle school, high school, what makes you think as an adult we're gonna be friends? We're gonna be talking. If I can't look to you for guidance, for support, for love, for advice as a kid, what does that do to me now as a grown adult and like actively growing up in my 20s? There's people out there like this, like her, like me, that felt this way. Hell, I bet there's some even in the
shit. I'm out here, nigga. You feel I'm out here, nigga. I don't know what point I was making in terms of, yo, you could be from wherever in the world, you know what I'm saying? But the one beautiful thing that you cannot put past this whole internet thing, this online thing, is how you can actually discover, you know, the minds that you could resonate with, bro. From wherever they could be from. I remember I was, you know, I uploaded some segment of you know, my videos where I was breaking down, or an Asian guy was breaking down how they went ghost on their family. I reacted to that because I resonated with that. You feel? That's why it was part of my ReWAD shit. You feel what I'm saying? That's why this is part of my ReWAD shit. It's like I resonate with that. But I'm so not from like your part of the world. It's crazy. But when now we have to come on these platforms, once we have to make our way on these platforms, right? And just like share what we share and see what we attract. That's like our new kind of just like formation of new families, bro. Like that's how I see it. You feel what I'm saying? That's the one beautiful thing. Yes, the internet is toxic. It's this, that, it's the third. But this is one thing we cannot put past it. And it's cool as fuck.
But I know for me, for sure, middle school, there's been many times just crying in my room. Just like, you know what? I don't know how we got here. I know I don't want to be here. I know it's upsetting not having parents, not having that relationship. But damn, I am holding on to when I'm grown. I'm holding on.
By a thread, nigga.
I'm holding on to when I'm able to provide for myself. So that I know I always got me. And I know, and it kept me going knowing that time in my life was temporary. But again, I've made videos talking about why some people are cutting off their friends and family over politics. That's light work. It's happening. It you know, with some liberals, it's there. But this stuff, you know, I'm talking on a whole nother playing field. And I'm glad it's a discussion that more and more people are being open to have.
Yeah, I'm able to appreciate how there were so many different perspectives when it came to the experts, the children, the parents. But it was extremely triggering to be a child who cut off my family, hearing one of the parents say things like, well, my other children still talk to me, when each child has such different lived experiences. Both my sisters didn't go through the things I...
And here's one thing that I also want to point out at the same time is the fact that, yo, when we are breaking this kind of thing down psychologically, right, it you know, it does come down to the fact that you actually cut your old folks off mentally first before it manifests. You know what I'm saying? Think of the power of manifestation, right? Where does that whole I mean, that's if you're into that kind of thing. That's if you know what I'm saying, you dive deep into that kind of research and do that kind of homework, right? It's like, yo, all of that kind of thing, when we're talking about, you know, creating the realities of one, it begins in the head. It begins in your mind, right? And so therefore, it's like, once you have developed the mind of like, yo, first thing I do once I get my job, or once I get to a level where I can see a consistent, you know, flow of just stability here in terms of the things that can be put together so I can be by myself. The first sign of that, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? By the time you develop that mind, you've already been checked out from your younger years of being, because you've already made up your mind. You've already analyzed the whole environment, being like, yo, I don't belong here. You feel what I'm saying? And we got to take that into consideration. You see a kid that's like checked out, that's literally not into whatever they're into, this environment, whatever is going on here, this family, this friendship, this bond, like, you know what I'm saying? They'd rather be elsewhere. That's them beginning that process of checking out, and the first opportunity they get, they out. You feel what I'm saying?
I went through.
I was just talking about this with my sister on the phone literally yesterday. I understand from her perspective too, it can be a little hurtful that she doesn't have the mom that I have. She doesn't have the dad that I have. Like, we are 6 years apart. So she grew up, when she was 6, I was born. My family shit really hit the fan when I was like 4 or 5. So that puts her, you know, through her prime, elementary, middle school ages, and I was a child. She had a whole different version of my mother, a whole different version of my father that I never met, I never connected with, that I don't know. We quite literally have different parents,
I can
even though they're
attest to
the
that
same.
too.
And I feel like that's the way for a lot of children out there. Different children have different experiences.
As I say, I can attest to that. I can like resonate with that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The fact that you know, I mean, I'm a illegitimate illegitimate kid. You know, illegitimate, like, nah, born out of wedlock. You feel me? Like, and obviously, naturally, you know, the old folks, they broke up. I think when I was like around a year and a half or two or whatever, right? And then obviously the people that raised you up at that point, you feel what I'm saying? They were going through their own things. They were you needed that energy, that attention from them, and they were going through this whole thing, this moment of friction, this moment of conflict, right? And then obviously your development at that point is crucial. Now you get those versions of them, and then what happened in my case is that both my mom and my dad, they went on to marry other people respectively, right? And then they went on to have kids in those unions. You know what I'm saying? So my siblings that are now born from those unions, right? It's like they get a whole different version of that person. You know what I'm saying? Respectively, my mom and my dad. You feel what I'm saying? So, and it could be like, yeah, if you know, you know.
Experiences with their parents, especially if there's different ages involved. And that'd be another great video that I should really look into doing and highlight, you know, the different perspectives of people sharing the age gaps in different families and how that dynamic is played into how, you know, your relationship with your parents has turned out. Yeah. That's a huge one. But
how it affects the relationship overall, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know, I feel bad that, you know, we all can't come together as a family, you know. She still talks to them and I don't. Yeah. But I can respect and I understand that she had a whole different version of them than I got. And it's unfortunate, but I'm glad she understands the version that I got. It ain't good. I'm glad she can see my perspective and respect that. But such a great point that not a lot of people bring up. We do have different versions of parents.
It has been 6 years since I've spoken to my mother. 6. And going no contact has been honestly one of the most peaceful and one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. And through my healing, I have learned these 3 things about myself that honestly explain why I picked certain type of people in relationships, why I have gravitated towards certain friendships.
Yes, we were breaking down attachment styles. That also can be, you know, influenced by also the love, also the correction, where you corrected yourself, you know, whenever you traumatized the kid. When you realize and you're like, damn, nah, that's wrong. You know, that could bring that balance of like the kid seeing things, you know, positively still, even if you was out of pocket type shit. I continue, my brother.
Scanning every environment, being hyper vigilant to the people around me, trying to figure out everybody's ulterior motives. Subconsciously, I truly was rooted in the belief that if I couldn't trust my own parent to be a safe emotional place, how could I trust anybody else?
Then I can't trust anybody. If I can't trust my own parents to be parents, how the hell am I supposed to trust anybody else out there? And that took a lot for me to break through. That took a lot for me to just accept being loved, to accept loving friendships, to not think that everybody out there is going to betray me, is going to hurt me, and live life with my walls up. And I was only doing that because I felt like, damn, if the people that's supposed to be there, the people that are supposed to be giving me guidance, love, pouring into me, and they aren't there. Shit, now I look at the whole different world different now. Now I'm looking at everything different. I'm analyzing everything. Now I think there's an ulterior motive for everyone. It's a lot.
Now you're paranoid about everything. Everything. Yeah,
I totally can see how that can happen to many other people out there.
Twisted way. This type of betrayal wound led me to the exact people who betrayed me. And the second thing that I have really come to understand is I also have a deep wound of feeling defective. One amazing thing about my mother is she is hospitable to anybody in need, right? We grew up with Thanksgiving being our house full of everybody who didn't have a family. Meanwhile, her actual family were being abused and mistreated, and it was just such a hostile environment when nobody was around. Like, I used to wonder and almost resent these people because I'm like, why do you guys get the best version of my mother, but we get the worst? And it made me feel defective.
This video is a damn near a therapy session. Shit. Put in the comments if you've gone through this, if you relate to this too, because that is I do.
That's crazy.
Because there's so many people out.
No, I relate to it in the manner where I saw my mother go through this. You know what I'm saying? I saw my mother go through this in terms of her parental structure. You know what I'm saying? Where she, you know, the mother would treat them differently than how, you know what I'm saying, she would treat people outside of this family structure. You feel what I'm saying? And how it tore my mother apart like that. That's crazy, dog. And I can, firsthand, I could like see the
aunts
effects.
and cousins
I saw it.
that are genuinely shocked and surprised when I tell them the stories of what I've gone through and the things some of my mother has said to me. They're dumbfounded because they do get the best version of her, and I just get the crazy side. And it's like, damn, am I wrong? Am I a bad person? Why are we spending this whole year fighting, arguing, just visceral, just like not getting along? But then the holidays, it's very merry. Christmas Eve, we're at food shelters handing out food. Like we're actively giving away and have the biggest heart, which I'm not knocking. It wasn't reflective inside our own home. That's the crazy part to me. This crazy.
And so I have lived life feeling like I have this need to prove myself of my worth, and this deep wound of like, why me? Why can't I be loved? Most importantly, the third thing that I've learned about myself growing up with a narcissistic parent is I wanted to be nothing like her, and I was repeating all of her patterns. You have to fight like mother effing hell to stop the patterns that—
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Yo, look, apart from the fact that I look like my dad's twin, nigga, listen, I look like that nigga. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like the look, like they're like, yo, trust me, it's one of those situations, yo, no DNA test needed, buddy. What? Huh? You? Him? What? Get out of here, bro. Watch out. But you feel me? Yo, characteristics that are like, that I believe, you know what I'm saying, were like the shortcomings of this nigga. It's like, damn, I see it in myself, God. And look, man, like, I think I've shared this before. Like, I'm at an age where homie had like 2 kids, by the, you know, at the age that I'm at, and I don't even got one. But how I see it to myself is just like how I, you know, treat people who, you know, may find themselves at a, you know, not lower position than me, but like either equal to me. So if I see you as equal, so it could be at a job, right? So, and you could be older than me, but like I'm at a job, and you know, I could still see you the same way as myself. I can see you as my equal. But then now it's like how I treat you. It's like sometimes it's so out of pocket, and then it just takes me to why I avoided the person. You know what I'm saying? In question, because they're like, I'm exhibiting literally what I avoided in them, or I'm exhibiting the reason why I avoided them in the first place. I don't know if you get it. You know what I'm saying?
You grew up with, that you normalized throughout the years.
You gotta stop. There's some things that linger on.
Stop. Shit.
That's probably what my mom would do. Probably what my dad would do. But in large part, that's the one I probably don't relate with the most.
Yo.
Because I vividly can see and identify, oh, I want to be this type of parent.
Yeah.
I want to be this type of father. I know exactly what not to do.
What not to do.
Vividly. I know for some people out there, they fall right in their parents' footsteps, and you're trying to break that generational curse, and it can be hard. But I think if you put that focus on what not to be, it can make things a little bit easier for you. It can. Really? But this is, if you're not dealing with this is the type of stuff like adult Gen Z and millennials are having to go through and process.
I see.
Growing up with narcissistic, verbally abusive, just
look, bro, here's a point that I will, you know what I'm saying, put on here too, is that, you know, we can as the generation that's coming up, and you know, that's like conscious of these kind of things happening. At the same time, bro, it's like, you know, you could spot all the things that you didn't want from your own parents and things like that, and wanting to change those specific things. But you know what I'm saying, who's to say that your kid is going to be into that? Because they also gonna have their own consciousness. They also gonna have their own awareness and understanding of things, as per like how the outside, aka outside of this family structure, outside there in the world, in the streets, you know what I'm saying, that world is gonna shape up their way of understanding the world. And then obviously we've also imparted our way as this kid's parents, you know what I'm saying, of how to be, and you know, these things that I've spotted, that okay, nah, this is how I want to raise them, this is how I want to you know what I'm saying. Since I didn't want to make those same mistakes, I was conscious enough to like be woke enough to be like, yo, nah, I want to be this kind of parent. And then you apply that. Let's say you apply that, right? But who's to say that your kid is not gonna be like, bro, you smothered me a lot, bro. Come on, bro. You was at every sports meeting, every school meeting, right? Helping me with my own homework every night. Come on, but sometimes you just gotta let me be myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? You get those kind of like come on, bro. Like, their brains can be like, bro, you're the reason why I'm soft. You're the reason why I can't, like, face tough decisions. There's that extreme POV to it too. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not even talking about you having to give your kid the, you know, absolute extreme of what you thought was right. You know what I'm saying? You could be doing the whole balancing act, being tough a little bit, but being, you know, smothering a little bit and nurturing a little bit. But I'm telling you, bro, it literally depends on, like, how this kid is influenced, bro, by literally these two worlds, the outer world and the inner world, aka the world in here, us, the family, and the outer world, the friends, the schools, the authorities out there, leaders out there, rebels out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because of that kind of POV that can develop there, they could look at the parts where you were there for them and be like, nah, bro, it was you've made me too soft because of that. It's like, huh? And then come back and be like, yeah, you remember the time when you wanted to strengthen, you know, your fist on, you know, not strengthen your fist as in like beat the kid up on some bully vibes, like, nah, but like as in strengthen the discipline on me. It's like they can use that, even if it was a healthy amount of discipline. They can literally use that on some, like, nah, dog, you was bullying me. You was bullying me, bro. Like, what are we talking about? You see what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah, y'all can go and check out the whole video, bro. Like, this is a long video for the kind of video lengths that I react to. So I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, go to the point where I think he might be making his final, you know, parting words and shit like that. If you want to check it out, it's Amir Odom, you know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, I deliberately do this because, yo, if you want to check the whole thing with me, you just checked the portions of why we're here, right? Like, I've made my points and things like that. But if you want to, you know, really dive into this because you've grown, you know, an interest in this video, go check his thing out. You know what I'm saying? That's how my reaction style things go over here. I'm not gonna cover the whole thing because it's like, yo, cover his video, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you a nice little POV of why I think this title, you know, might have been an interesting title for today's segment type shit. But anyway, you can continue, my boy Amir.
They don't want anything to do with me. They don't want anything to do with my kids. Okay. No big deal at all. Some of us have already experienced the death of a parent that is still alive. Yeah. We've been mourning.
Oh, shit.
We have already cried a million tears.
The death of a parent that is still alive. It's crazy.
We have already tried a million times to reconcile. Trust me when I say we have already given a million chances for that parent to get their shit together. And when they still choose to stay the same, we gotta cut ties.
That's too real. Talked about before earlier on in this video. Mourning a parent that's still alive. You've done everything you can to make this work, and it's just not working. All you can do is step away. That's all you can do, because it hurts. But we are in this age where we hold these.
Yo, and I'm not gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? These kids that are developing these days, they sound like data parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, why can't my parent get right? You better get right, or you better. It's like y'all sound like, you know what I'm saying, the kind of people that's about to put y'all parents in timeout and ground y'all parents and shit like that. You know? But like, yo, like, so some of these is warranted. I'm not gonna lie. Some of these is like, I can see why. You feel me? I could personally, like, give a reason to why I think, you know what I'm saying, like, we are the parents, goddammit, and they the children. Fuck it.
Parents, and assuming you know the story and telling us how we should handle the situation in the most respectful way. You show me you don't care about me, I will respectfully leave you alone. Millennials are holding their parents accountable, and it is what the fuck it is.
They got to.
It could all be so simple, but it never really is for them.
It's not. And that's what this whole video is about and trying to highlight and show. Gen Z millennials are holding their parents accountable, you guys. They are. Enough is enough. And like Oprah's podcast is a really good podcast. You should give it a watch if you haven't. Highlighting all the different stories of the different adults that have gone no contact with their parents, cut off their parents, and there were some adults sharing their stories too. But in like, I don't want to conflate the two. The little tiny rise, the trend of cutting your family and friends off over politics.
Not a trend.
That's separate.
It's an awakening. It's an awakening.
No, like this is childhood. This is deep shit. This is childhood shit, you guys. That people are fighting through and working through day in and day out. And there's a group of millennials and Gen Z that has said enough is enough. I'm holding you accountable. And holding you accountable is setting our boundaries in place, maintaining my peace, and keeping it pushing. Because now that I'm fully independent, at this point, At this point, the only relationship that's there is a relationship that was built, or that was there during your childhood, during your adolescence and your young adult ages. And for personally me, and I know a lot of people that have gone through this video, it was never there. So it's just a reflection of that. And even then, more often than not, the Gen Z and the millennials, they have tried everything they could to repair it, because we know what we can do. You know, this is a generation of therapy and talking things out and sharing stories and figuring out what we can do. A lot of us have done the work, tried to do the work, and it's just not received. So you know what? Enough is enough.